Hi there, welcome to my channel. Just want to give you guys an update on my portfolio here. As you guys can see, we're at $296,788.34 according to my dividend tracker. If you guys are interested in this dividend tracker, it's called Stock Events. And so let's check the dividends. As you guys can see, we're estimated to make $5,619.56 in dividends. And as you guys can see, there's the annualized dividend income. So this is all just estimates. It may be a little bit higher or it may be a little bit less. I will know the exact monthly number in dividends as soon as I get my statement from Robinhood. But just about, it's fairly close to what I should be getting on a monthly basis from dividends from my Robinhood portfolio. And so today the market was down, as you guys can see, but if we look at my actual Robinhood portfolio, let's take a look at that. Let's open that up, and here we are. As you guys can see, during the day we were down 1.71%. And so early this morning, around this area here, it was about 5 in the morning for me when I saw this, because I wake up at 5 in the morning to get ready to head to my job. And so I started buying right in this dip right here. So I made a few purchases. As a matter of fact, my entire paycheck, what I make on a weekly basis, $1,000, I already spent it all on different ETFs that I've purchased. And so one of those ETFs that I purchased is one of the ETFs that I wanted to talk about is Qdvo, or Qdvo. This ETF here, Amplify CWP Growth and Income ETF, currently $28.31. And during after hours, it's 0.60% in the green. So I did end up buying a little bit more of this. I already currently own some. I currently only own 8 shares. Okay, and if we go scrolling down here, the last dividend that it paid was 28 cents. So not too bad. Not too bad. One of the other good things about this ETF in particular is it's 25% maintenance. The maintenance ratio is 25%. So it only takes up 25% of my equity, which is really great. And let's look at the description of this ETF on their website. The Amplified ETFs, Qdvo. So if we scroll down here, this here, why invest in Qdvo ETF? And it says here, growth and high income potential, seeking capital appreciation from growth-oriented stocks with high monthly income from option premiums and dividends, which sounds great. Equity exposure and lower volatility. Covered calls and dividends may help reduce volatility versus the overall market during times of broad-based market declines. So they're trying to achieve less volatility, which is great. It's actively managed, allows the portfolio manager, CWP, to identify opportunities and risks and act on those decisions in real time. So I guess in this ETF, they have a way to change things according to what I guess they can see what may be happening in the future. So that's kind of a benefit, you can say. If they see that maybe there's going to be a downturn, maybe they can do something and get ahead of that downturn. Or if they see that the market's going to continue to pump, maybe they can do something about it and get more appreciation. So if we look further here, we see the objective and strategy of this ETF, which says the Amplify CWP Growth and Income ETF, ticker symbol Qdvo, an actively managed ETF seeks to provide capital appreciation and secondarily, high current income. Qdvo consists primarily of large cap dividend growth stocks and is designed to offer high levels of total return on a risk adjusted basis. So one of the things that really caught my attention about this particular ETF is that its primary goal is capital appreciation, which is great because that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking to buy more ETFs that have growth, more capital appreciation, and that track the major indexes, which is the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. So the primary goal, the first goal of this ETF is capital appreciation, which is great. The secondary goal is paying dividends. And so you get both appreciation and dividends, somewhat similar to SPY-I and QQQI. So also, I was reading that the distributions or the dividends that you receive from this ETF are considered return of capital or classified as return of capital when you do your taxes. So it's basically almost tax-free income, which is great, far better than the taxes I have to pay in my job, right? With something like this, you're more than likely not to pay taxes on the complete dividend that you're getting. Sometimes it's 100%, or sometimes it's less than 100%, but you're paying less taxes on these dividends. And as you guys can see, they've somewhat consistently been increasing their dividend over time. They started off paying about 19 cents per share and gradually have increased that dividend up to 28 cents per share, which is great. So that means that not only is there appreciation in value and price, there's also the dividend that is increasing in value, or the dividend payout is higher almost month after month. So we'll see what they pay in August. I mean, they already paid in August, sorry. We'll see what they pay in September. So it seems here that they pay at the end of the month. So I'll be looking forward to that. And I did an actual comparison in the line chart here, a comparison of Qdvo, SPY-I, and QQQI. Okay, so Qdvo is the blue line. It's at year to date, it's done 12.50%. So it is outperforming SPY-I and QQQI currently, because QQQI is at 10.15% and SPY-I is at 9.15%. So all of these ETFs have appreciation and income. And so that's what I'm looking for. If we go back to my Robinhood portfolio, we'll be able to see that I bought both SPY-I and QQQI, and both of them have appreciated in value. So if we look here, I believe I've mentioned this before, as you guys can see, in total return, currently if I sell all of my QQQI, I make $3,100. But of course, there's no good reason for me to sell this because I've already made in dividends. Let me show you guys what I've made in dividends here. Let's turn this over to dividends. As you guys can see, in June, July, and August, I've made just about $1,200, a little bit more than $1,200 in those past 3 months from just this ETF, QQQI. And also, if we look at SPY-I, SPY-I is the same. SPY-I has also paid me great dividends, and there's appreciation. So as you guys can see here, in total return, if I were to sell this today, I would make a profit of just about $2,800. But of course, why would it? Again, of course, why would I do that when it's been paying me the dividends here. If we take a look at the dividends, as you guys can see, in the past 3 months, I've made a little bit over $1,000 on SPY. And so I'm looking for greater appreciation, and I'm looking for a dividend, right? So as long as the market is going up, then I assume that SPY and QQQI will continue to appreciate, and Qdvo will appreciate. So in this ETF, as you guys can see, this is the past 3 months. In this ETF, you're getting both appreciation and income, right? There's no decline in price. There's no decline in value. As a matter of fact, the value and the income, both together, it's just a really great ETF. SPY, QQQI, and Qdvo, another great ETF in my opinion. Obviously, none of this is financial advice. And so I'm going to be purchasing more Qdvo moving forward to increase the value of my portfolio. In contrast to these ETFs, we have something like Yieldmax or ULTI. So I just want to show you guys the contrast here of Yieldmax and ULTI and a lot of these Yieldmax ETFs. Although, as you can see, ULTI did pump during after hours 0.22%, but it was down during the day 0.57%. But of course, overall, if we could look at year to date, yeah, this is down 37.36%. And so with this ETF, all you have is income. That's it. There is no appreciation. Yes, if you would have bought it here, then you would have seen some appreciation, but for the most part, that appreciation is kind of almost gone. If it keeps going the way it's going, it's going to head back into this area here, I assume. And so there's no appreciation here. All there is just high income. Now, with dividends reinvested, yeah, you're going to see some total return here. But if you look here, without dividends reinvested, because I haven't reinvested any dividends whatsoever into this ETF back into ULTY from Yieldmax, I'm currently down on this ETF $1,800. And it hasn't paid me enough to cover the cost of what I'm in the red on this ETF. But of course, if we look at the total return picture of this ETF, we can look at that on here, Webull. Mostly I use Webull just to look at these line charts. And Webull does show the line chart with dividends reinvested or dividends included. And so if we look at the 1 year here, we can see that it is up. But of course, if we compare this to SPY, if we compare ULTI to SPY, we'll see that we can see just how what has happened. Has SPY outperformed it? And here we are. Okay, so according to this, as you guys can see, SPY is currently at 9.27%, while ULTI is only at 5.23%. Okay, so with ULTI, even with dividends reinvested, I guess, it only has appreciated about a little bit over 5%, while SPY has appreciated close to about 10%. And so even without dividends, SPY has appreciated, even if you don't reinvest dividends. Because I haven't reinvested any dividends whatsoever into SPY. I haven't reinvested any dividends into any of the ETFs that I currently hold. And so some of them appreciate and some of them don't. And so now I'm trying to focus more on something that appreciates, something that increases in value, something that tracks the S&P 500. So that's why I'm buying a lot of these other types of ETFs, more SPY-I, obviously Qdvo, and quite a few other ETFs that do have appreciation, even ETFs that don't pay a dividend. They only pay a dividend on a quarterly basis. So there are ETFs that pay dividends on a quarterly basis, but these have greater appreciation. And so moving forward, I'm going to be focusing on mostly ETFs that appreciate in value. Not so much looking for the income, because I feel that I've reached a certain amount of income that I wanted to reach. As you guys can see, it's about $5,600. My initial goal in income was to surpass my job income. I'm a welder, and so this income from dividends has already surpassed my income from my job. And my goal here is to reach $10,000 per month in dividend income. And I'm going to be reaching that not only with ETFs that pay monthly dividends and have appreciation, also with ETFs that don't necessarily pay a dividend on a monthly basis, but pay a dividend on a quarterly basis. So it'll be a little bit slower to get to the $10,000. Of course, if there is such a, if there is an opportunity to buy more high income ETFs, then I will purchase those. There's also an ETF that lots of people are excited about. It's called WPay. WPay from Roundhill. And I believe this ETF will be available to purchase, I think tomorrow, on the 3rd of September. And that ETF will include all of the single stock ETFs that they currently have on their website. So if we look at the Roundhill website, I believe I have it here somewhere. Let's see here. Here we are. This ETF called WPay. So the Roundhill WPay Universe ETF, the fund seeks to provide investment results before fees and expenses that correspond to the performance of the weekly pay universe index. The index is designed to track the performance of a portfolio of Roundhill's single stock weekly pay ETFs. The fund is structured as a fund of funds, and under normal market conditions will invest at least 80% of its total assets in the shares of the weekly pay ETFs, comprised the index. The fund will be rebalanced monthly to target equal weight exposure to all eligible constitutions. The fund will make weekly distribution payments that should be expected to fluctuate from week to week based on the distributions of the underlying weekly pay ETFs. The fund is classified as non-diversified under the Investment Copy Act of 1940 and may be concentrated in one or more industries depending on the exposure of the underlying ETFs. Okay, so a lot of people are excited about this ETF because it will contain all of these other ETFs. Let me show you guys what it's going to contain. It's going to contain all of this list here. So WPay will contain all of these ETFs, and all of these ETFs pay on a weekly basis. And so once WPay is available and I'm able to buy it on Robinhood, well, one of the things is that usually when an ETF is brand new on Robinhood, it's usually 100% margin maintenance. So I showed you guys margin maintenance here. If we look back here, here's Ulti. As you guys can see here on Robinhood, Ulti is 25% maintenance ratio, or the maintenance requirement is 25%. Now there are ETFs that are 100%, especially something that is new. When something is new, it's usually 100% margin maintenance. And so more than likely once WPay is available to buy here on Robinhood, more than likely it'll be 100% margin maintenance. And so I'll have to wait until my assumption is that it's going to probably go down to 25% or maybe 30%, because a lot of the weekly pay Roundhill ETFs are at about 30%. The largest one I currently own is this one, based on Apple, the Roundhill Apple weekly pay ETF. And so if we scroll down here, as you guys can see, is currently 30% margin maintenance. And my assumption is that WePay will eventually probably be dropped down to 30% after, I don't know, maybe 30 days or so. And so I'll be looking forward to buying that as soon as I can, because it's going to be weekly pay, and I'm sure the pay is going to be high, and it's going to have some amount of diversification because it's going to contain all those single stock ETFs. It's going to be something like Yieldmax. Like Yieldmax contains all of the different single stock ETFs from Yieldmax. So this Roundhill version, WPay, will contain all of the weekly pay ETFs that are single stock ETFs that pay on a weekly basis. And so I'm looking forward to buying that one once it's available, and once the margin requirement drops down to probably I assume it's going to drop down to 30%. It may be higher, it may be lower, I don't know, but I am looking forward to purchasing that ETF. One last thing I just want to show you guys is the Fear and Greed Index. As you guys can see, we're at 62 points of greed. And so this fluctuates. Sometimes it goes into neutral, sometimes it goes into greed. And so far that's what it's been doing. It's kind of just been bouncing around, moving around here in the greed area. I've seen it in the neutral area, and currently it's in greed. This is the crypto version of the Fear and Greed Index. And so as you guys can see, it's currently at 55 points of greed. Earlier today it was at fear. It was about 40, I believe it was like 47 points. So it was in fear, then it moved into neutral, and now it's back into greed because Bitcoin has bounced back. And so I do happen to own a Bitcoin related ETF, which is BTCI. And so if we go over here back to Robinhood, we can see that I own BTCI. I bought a little bit more of BTCI today. Just one share of BTCI I bought today. BTCI. Here it is, from NEOS. And yeah, it pumped back up to $60.17. And so as you guys can see here, also on Robinhood, 25% margin maintenance for this ETF, which somewhat tracks Bitcoin and pays a really good dividend. If we scroll down here, we'll see that in August, in the month of August, it paid $1.42, which is fairly high per share. And so what's going to happen to Bitcoin? Is it going to move higher? If Bitcoin moves higher, then this ETF will move higher. I really don't know if Bitcoin is going to move higher. Some people believe that it's going to move higher. You know what? It probably will move higher, especially towards the end of the year. Maybe in November. Maybe in November it'll move higher. You know, I don't know. This is not financial advice. I can't predict the future. I don't know what's going to happen in the future. So, thanks so much for watching. If you made it this far into my video, thank you so much. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I really would appreciate it. If you guys have any questions, or any comments, please put them in the comments down below. I will read your questions. If you have any questions, I will answer your questions. If you got any comments, I will read your comments and I will respond to your comment. Thanks so much for watching once again. You guys have a great day. God bless. Catch you in the next video. Thanks so much. Bye.